This is Alex, and today what I'm going to do, I'm going to ramble on about what, in my opinion, is an underdeveloped feature in Planetside 2, and how it can be expanded upon to not only give an improvement to the game, but to also give the ability and unlock the potential, basically, to kind of for it to become the platform of other things and become a core feature in Planetside. What I'm talking about is actually the mission system.
We have 3 Sundays. Let's get whatever else you can. We're going for an
So what is a mission system then? Well, currently the mission system consists of the following stuff. It's basically automated objectives which trigger when you're in a hex. They basically, all it really is some automated objectives that say take the A point, take down this gen, or attack base X down the lane, or defend it if you're being backcapped. These are completely automated, and for the most part, most players don't even know they're there. They're pretty useful for new players sometimes, but that's about it. Of course, this is all speaking theoretically, as I'm not a new player. What I'm going to put forward in this video is an idea for a system which will serve as a much needed upgrade to the mission system. Thinking back to the roadmap though, it's what the original intention seemed to be, if I remember correctly. Not only will it improve the mission system, but it will also give a platform for additional macro features, and it will also give it the potential to become a core part of the game, instead of something like it is now, which is something tacked onto the end. It can literally tie into everything. If we really wanted it to, it can tie into the new player experience, which I'll cover in another video because it'll be too long to do in this one. And it can also tie into the upcoming construction system, again, which I'll touch on in another video, although I believe Vindicore put up a post recently that may have touched upon that. I'll link that in the video description below.
Comms, I think we're out of range.
So the biggest thing I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be something called the mission browser. The mission browser will serve as a menu in the map screen for a platoon or a squad lead. Now, just to be clear, a squad lead would be able to see the list but not able to accept a mission if they're in a platoon. So if they wanted to do that, they could say they want to play the mission, and then the platoon leader would have to accept it. And obviously the platoon leader could accept it or deny it using the notification menu, like someone joining a squad. Yes or no. Easy. Now, when in a squad leader will be able to set squad specializations, which would allow him or her to access a list of specific class missions as well as the general ones. The specializations or squad classes would be as follows, pretty much: airborne infantry, mechanized infantry, air, armor, and default. Default being what we have now. So the specialized squads would receive benefits towards their choice in the following way: to support their chosen playstyle. For balance reasons, it could only be changed once every 30 minutes. So you get default, which is as it is currently. Airborne infantry. What would happen here is the squad lead would get the ability to set 2 dedicated pilots, and once again they can only set it once every 30 minutes, for example. What these pilots get is a reduction in cost of galaxies and Valks in exchange for an increase in ground vehicles and consumables. It would only apply to these 2 dedicated pilots, so they're able to keep flying those galaxies and Valkyries, but they'd be pretty much unable to do much else. They could help out on the ground if they're down, but they wouldn't be able to help that much. The other class, mech infantry, what we could do there, the squad lead would have the ability to set 3 drivers, again, once per 30 minutes, for a reduction in sunderer costs in exchange for an increase in other items. We'll touch upon resources again, because this mission system can tie in with construction, and it can tie in with resources as well, like I've already said. Well, I haven't said about resources, but we'll talk about that in another video because that's quite lengthy. And of course, for air, you get a reduction in ESF costs in exchange for an increase in everything else, excluding other aircraft. So only ESFs would get a cost reduction, purely because ESFs are really good, but lib cost reduction would just simply be too much. They'd be too powerful and too spammable, which is not a good thing to have. Likewise with armor, you get a reduction in harasser and lightning costs in exchange for an increase in everything else, except MBTs, again like liberators, because they'd be too powerful. Now, the purpose of this specialization, doing it this way, where you get a decrease and an increase, is just simply balancing. Like, it's basically a squad class, like you do with a ground class. Like, for example, if you're a heavy assault and you switch to a light assault, you lose that shield in exchange for a jump pack. Likewise, if you you switch from a heavy to a medic, you lose the shield again, in exchange for the ability to heal yourself and your teammates. It's just kind of balancing by removing one thing and giving you another, like a ground class. So once you got your squad specialization, you'll be able to not only set, but you'll be able to receive specific missions. Every squad leader will be able to set any kind of mission they want, which I've detailed in the picture here, where when you set a mission, what you can do, you could open the right-click menu as shown here, and what it'll give you a list. The classic offensive-defensive markers, which I've kind of replaced with those heavy assault markers to show default. And then you've got the Galaxy, the Sundra, and whatever, plus with a little thing saying note here, so when you put down a marker, it would automatically put in the location, in the text menu, and you could set your own note saying AA here, AV here, whatever. So example kinds of missions then that could go for class specifications. That could it could be a thing. So default, you got reinforcements needed, like attack X, defend Y. That's offensive defensive markers as we've seen already. For airborne infantry, which would be stuff like galaxy drops, so you can have galaxy drops here and like enemy AV nest here, along with the default missions. Mechanized infantry can have needed sunderers here because they'd be best kitted out for that. Enemy nest AA, default missions, whatever. For the air, you can have air to ground here, air to air here, enemy AV nest here, whatever. You can use your imagination for that. And for armor, that can be armor support requests, so that can be a mix of bringing in sunderers or destroying enemy armor that's there. It's up to your imagination. It's the whole point of the notes thing. So if you set it as a squad lead for your enemy AV here, enemy armor here, obviously it's going to be the best option to go for the armor loadout. So in the mission browser then, specialized missions would be visible to everyone, but the location would be hidden unless you're in a specialized squad. So what you could do, if you're a way to set a specialization, you could have a look down the menu and see which one's needed most, to give you kind of an idea before you make a commitment. However, default missions will be available to all squads, because they are the classic offensive-defensive markers. So squad leaders will be able to set missions from the map screen using a right-click menu similar to placing waypoints. Once a mission is set, there will be a set time limit until it expires, let's say for now 4 minutes. The time limit will be dependent on hex control and population balance. For example, if the hex has a large friendly population imbalance, the mission will be removed from the list after a delay of 30 seconds or so. If there is a pop imbalance in favour of the enemy, then the mission will remain, because the whole reason for that is to reduce clutter of useless missions, because you're not going to need any kind of reinforcements if you've already got overpop, so it would automatically remove it if necessary. However, it would stay there if there was a large amount of enemy pop compared to the friendly pop in the region. Also, if the hex changes ownership, so say your forces cap the base or lose it, the mission would expire, but only if a squad leader has not accepted it. If a squad leader has accepted it, then that mission will stay until the mission's either carried out or failed. If a squad leader accepts a mission, they'll be given a time limit to carry it out, so if the mission is successful, the squad gets a significant, but not too large, XP gain as an incentive to do it. If it is an outfit squad, then you can also have the regional broadcast in the hex, similar to /RE when you're on the ground, to say, for example, cons destroyed Sundra objective. So just to say in the region that they've carried out that objective. So not only do you get the XP boost, but you get a bit of boasting rights as well for those that aren't that bothered about cert. As a self-balancing issue, the missions assigned to uncontested hexes behind the lines will be almost instantly removed unless there is enemy pop in the hex. So the mission system in this form is the idea behind it is that it's not a replacement for command chat, but it'll be as a kind of a non-vocal way for squad and multi leads to talk to each other, because at least on Miller there are language barriers there which do stop a lot of the outfits communicating with each other. That's language barriers, whether it's they can't speak all the same language or they just don't want to speak to each other, which is fine. But I think introducing a non-vocal communication method would be quite beneficial, as you'd have more people kind of indirectly talking to each other, which would be a good thing to have. Not to mention, like I've already said, the system could easily tie in with a new player experience in the construction system. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier, and this video is getting rather long, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do those each in another video because they're quite in depth as well. I hope you guys found this video interesting in some way, and I hope to see you back for another video shortly. I'll have the other one done by, I don't know, whenever. Alright, thanks guys, and see you later.